Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Nikk, and I have a AMD Ryzen Master Overclocking software tutorial for you today. I'm just gonna go over some of the functions of the program also, okay? So let's get right into it. But when you start Ryzen Master, this is the first screen that's gonna pop up, okay? Um, and you could pause the video and read this if you want to. We're going to start off at the top left hand corner of the program, okay, or app. Um, if you click this AMD icon over here, all right, it'll open up your web browser and bring you straight to the AMD website. And you can check things out over there, products and all kinds of other stuff by AMD. This arrow is going to basically open up a monitoring graph. Okay, so we're going to click that. Let's make this bigger. And what you see here is a plus and minus sign, okay? And the minus sign will let you zoom out to the full log, okay? And this is all the history since you've turned on this program, okay? Now, you can also go and press the plus sign to zoom in of the current activity of the processor also, all right? And this one here is a clear log button, and you click this and the whole log will clear itself, okay, and it will start a fresh monitoring, okay, graph, all right. So each line has a different color or a unique color, and that represents each core that the Ryzen 7 1700 has, okay. We have a speed tab right here, okay, and you can shut it on or off. The speed graph is up top and the temperature graph is at the bottom right here. So if you don't want the graphs active, you can always shut them off. Okay. You can shut off the temperature one. All right. This is the current tab. Okay, so this is the current speed and temperature. But you can click here to peak, and it's going to give you the peak, speed, and temperature. And if you click average, it's going to give you the average speed and temperature, okay, over time. All right, but I don't use the graph at all for that, okay. So we're going to disable those two, and we're going to minimize this window. Now we're just going to move over to the top right hand side of the corner, and we're going to click more, and it just gives you more information on the Ryzen Master overclocking software. So you can like pause the video and read that if you want to. Okay, we're going to minimize this again. Click less to minimize. You have a help button here, and this will open up your browser and open up the help file, and it's very informative and it's very detailed. It will definitely be more detailed than this video right now. Okay, so if you want extra information, just click that help button. Now we're going to click the about tab here, and it's just giving you information of the name of the software, the version, and also, you know, AMD's logo and copyright, okay, trademark or whatever. So let's just X that out. Alright guys, so now we're gonna check out this core section here, and it's gonna show you all 8 cores, and then each core has an active monitoring slider, okay. So these are the current speeds of each core here, okay, in the speed section here. All right, and these do move independently, showing you the activity of each core, not the threads though, but just the cores. If you want to look at the threads, you're going to have to use the task manager, This is free, so you don't have to download another program. It's already on Windows. You go to Performance, and you can see all your threads here. Okay, there's 16 threads, 8 cores, 16 threads, okay? So I just wanted to show you, if you wanted to go look at all 16 threads, that's how you do it, okay? Logical processes, all right? Now we have the, peak speed section here, and also current temperature. So current peak speed and current temperature here, and you have to make sure that this C tab at the bottom here is actually selected and highlighted, and that will show you all the current activity going on, and that's what that C is for, current monitoring activity. Okay, so anyway, like I said, this is the speed tab, and as you can see, some of the sliders are moving, and this is showing you the speed of each core. Now we have a cores disabled section here. Now I do have it where it is 0 cores disabled, so that is selected with the white circle here. But if you wanted to see what your CPU runs like as a 6-core 12-thread processor, you can disable 2 cores. If you wanted to see how the CPU runs as a 4-core 8-thread processor, you just select that. Or if you wanted to see how the CPU runs on 2 cores and 4 threads, you can select this to disable 6 cores. But I didn't pay for a Ryzen 7 1700 to disable cores, so I will probably never use that function for any purpose. Now we have the voltage section, voltage control section. Now this is the CPU voltage here, and we have, and this is the current voltage here. We have memory voltage, the VDDIO voltage for the memory RAM sticks, okay? And we have another memory VTT voltage also, and these both are for the memory RAM, okay? And the VDDCR SOC voltage also is part of, I think, the CPU voltage too. So for overclocking purposes of the CPU, you would probably really only be tweaking the CPU voltage here, okay? But I know that this VDDCR SOC voltage here can actually help make the overclock that you're trying to achieve slightly more stable, but be very careful messing with this. You do not want to bump that up too much, okay? You will fry your stuff. It shows you the warning in the beginning when you open the program. So that's the good thing about Ryzen Master, is that you can overclock your CPU and you can overclock your RAM, okay? And this slider here is how you're going to overclock the RAM. Now, as you can see, this stuff is grayed out right now. I really can't change anything on anything here. And I'm going to show you when we actually overclock how to how to start overclocking and setting up this. But you have the cache latency here, which is at 15. You have the row pre-charge delay, the RAS active time, the read row column delay, and the write row column delay. Okay, so these are all part of the RAM. And if you look at your memory sticks, okay, there's going to be 4 numbers, okay, with dashes in between each of those numbers, okay? And that is the cache latency of your memory sticks, and that's what you're going to copy here, okay? And your voltage for your RAM will be this one here, okay? And it's on your memory stick. So I have Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM, okay? And I think it says it can run at 1.3 volts and achieve 3000 megahertz on the speed. All right, so we're going to go down to the bottom right hand of the screen, and you have 4 overclocking profiles that you can save and apply, okay? Not at the same time, okay? One or the other, okay? So the first one I'm going to do here is profile 1. Now, as you can see, Now everything is lit up and I'm able to select and really change these parameters. Okay, so how you overclock is basically this. You want to overclock incrementally. Okay, you want to do it little by little as a safety precaution. The maximum voltage you should use to on your CPU is 1.35 volts. Now this is specified by AMD, and if you do some research online, you'll see other websites say the same thing. And I have my CPU cores running at 3.925, okay, megahertz, okay. So it's 3,925 megahertz, okay. By clicking the reset button here, we're going to reset the profile and start from scratch. How a person would start to overclock is you would basically raise this about 100, okay, each time you trying to make sure that you have a stable overclock, right? Now this is for beginners. Basically, you just want to up this, and then if your computer crashes when you up the speed, you might want to up the voltage, okay, and test it again. Now how you test it, you get a CPU stress tester, which is here from CPU-Z, okay, and you can download this from their website here at cpuid.com. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to stress test this CPU, and we're going to overclock it and stress test it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I already know, just for time's sake, that my CPU can run at 3.9 at 1.35 volts, we're going to stress test that, and it's going to be a stable overclock. So let's go all the way up to 3.925. And we're going to bump up the voltage to 1.35. Okay, now remember to save the profile like that, and then click apply. Okay, and now you can see the peak speed just went up to 3.92, and the temperature also jumped up. Now I have a liquid CPU cooler, so my temperature is going to fluctuate for a little bit, and then it's gonna go stable again. And we're going to run our stress tester. We're going to hit stress CPU, and I want you to keep your eyes on, well, the speed is not going to change, but the temperature is going to fly all the way up instantly, because the stress tester is going to utilize all 8 cores, all 16 threads, 100% of the time, 100% maximum level. Okay, and that's why it's a stress tester, and this is a perfect way to test your overclock. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit that stress CPU button, and we're going to be looking at the CPU multi-thread section here. We're going to click that. Now watch the temperature shoot up all the way to 50 something degrees instantly. Now when you're stress testing, you're probably going to want to leave this running for about 30 minutes to an hour, okay, to make sure that you actually do have a stable overclock. And I have already done this, and I've let it run for an hour, and my system didn't crash. Look at the temperature slowly going up, and the numbers also here will actually start slowly going up over time as the temperature stabilizes, which is why you want a liquid CPU cooler, because it's way better at stabilizing the temperature on the CPU versus an air cooler that once a certain temperature is reached, like it's just not stable. It actually fluctuates a lot. It's not as efficient as a liquid cooler. if I recall correctly, that the maximum temperature for the Ryzen 7 CPUs are, I think, safe temperature to run at, I think should be around like 80 degrees Celsius, but I would never have my CPU run that hot because actually it starts to throttle down the speed to keep your CPU safe from damage. Okay, so it's going to lower the speed to help bring down the heat. Okay, and that's what they call throttling down. But I just wanted to show you this part of overclocking your CPU with Ryzen Master. Now let's just stop this stress test and watch the temperature shoot down. Okay, now I also want to show you how you would overclock your RAM with Ryzen Master also. Since it's the same program, I might as well put it in the same video. So this slider is basically your memory stick's speed, okay? And you remember, if you're using a dual configuration memory stick, you have to times this number by 2. So when you times 1067 by 2, you're going to get 2133. Okay, so that's 2133 megahertz of speed on your RAM. Now I can achieve 2933, which is close to the 3000 specified by Corsair, but I can only achieve that on this particular motherboard, which is the Gigabyte AB350. Okay, because of the power phase. The power phase is not as efficient, I think, on this motherboard, which is the reason why I cannot overclock my RAM if my CPU speed is above 3.2 gigahertz. For whatever reason, I'm still trying to figure that out, but the only time I can get close to my 3000 megahertz on my RAM is when my CPU speed is no higher than 3.2 gigahertz. Okay, and on my RAM I have a cache latency of 15, and the digits on the back that are on the sticker of the RAM says 15, 17, 17, 35. So the row pre-charge delay would be 15, the RAS active time would be 35, and the read row and the write row would be 17. And you would just click that and scroll down and select those numbers, okay? And you would do that, and it's the same for all of them. Just read what's on the sticker on your RAM and put those numbers in here correctly, and you should be fine. Okay, after you're done overclocking and and you have a stable overclock, you save that profile by clicking save profile here, and then remember, like I said, you click apply to test it out, and if it's stable, you save that profile. I also have a profile 2 here. It has actual lower clock, just for, let's say, like, I use this when it's hot kind of in my house. Like, I have 2 ACs, but sometimes it still gets hot, so the ambient temperature actually affects your overclock too. So if your room that you're in is hot, your overclock, your computer may crash just because the ambient temperature is too high, and it affects your overclock. So just keep that in mind when you're overclocking. Okay, guys, so that's the end of this tutorial overview of the Ryzen Master overclocking software. I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very important. And yeah, Nikk bled out. Peace.